All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Re-Entry Network podcast. I'm your host, MT the Geek with the Cannabis Geeks, and I have a special one for y'all today. We got my girl Sakara here with us.
Yes.
We got her here. She is what I can say a boss lady in this cannabis industry. From what I've seen, just going through your Instagram and stuff, it seems like you came a long way in what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you fought and grinded because I see that you've been awarded things and stuff like that. So, being awarded something doesn't come easy. So that's what, I want to bring you in here today and just get a little background in that. And being a woman in this industry, it's not a lot of you, like in your position. It's not a lot. It's probably like me personally know you and the cam lady. Like, and y'all just running your own business and doing your thing. So I had to bring you in here, just get a little background on that and see. So can you let my audience know who you are, and where you come from, just a little background on you.
Yes, I'm honored. Thank you for having me here. I definitely want to spread the word and get that, just get people to understand what's happening in this industry. I'm from New York originally. I am an entrepreneur at heart, right? So I love all the arts, fashion, music, now cannabis. But originally, I had a clothing line. I used to throw events with me and my friends. Back when I started at like 18 years old, we used to do like yearly parties and barbecues and basketball tournaments. Like we put together concerts in Atlantic City. We got the key to Atlantic City when I was like 21 years old. So we've been like really hustling for a really long time. And, I thought I was going to be a millionaire at 20. I was like, I should be, well off. But it doesn't happen like that, or it didn't happen like that for me. I had I'm still learning a lot. I decided to transition into cannabis around like 25 years old. I had hit like a really rough patch in my career. I was trying different things. I was trying to get in the music industry. I had a clothing line with my best friends, and, things just weren't working out for me. And again, I was working with groups of people. I was giving all my resources to other people instead of pouring into myself. So I started reading, and I read this book called The Outliers, which is from Malcolm Gladwell. It's a really good book. And that sparked something in me in that moment where it influenced me to make a better decision on what career path I wanted to choose. And I was looking at the premise of the book is pretty much like where you're born, like what time frame you're born in, and how like the pretty much the ability for us to be successful in certain careers, like based on the time frame that you were born in and the resources that
Given to you.
that are given to you, and just like technology that may have developed in that time frame, right? Like Bill Gates wouldn't have been Bill Gates if the computer wasn't literally developed in the same time that he went to school and things like that. So it explains that. And I was looking at our time frame. I'm like, I'm not really into tech like that. Like tech is not my thing. And I was like, cannabis. I was like, cannabis is like legal in some states. And I was like, this is medicine, is helping people. Like it's like gonna be like alcohol. It was, like the prohibition era. Like I was like, this is a lane that I can see myself in, and I can really thrive in this space because I guess off the record, on the record, but I tried to sell weed in college, and it was just like horrible.
So that's why I didn't
Like,
want to cut you off. So
yeah.
I didn't want to cut you off, so I want to ask you about that. So where did that come from? Like, cause you said you seen it was going legal. So did you dibble and dab in the black market just a little bit to make you be like, okay, well, it's finna go legal. Let me go ahead and get in here before it takes off.
So I've, again, like I said, I've just always had a hustler spirit. So I've dabbled and dabbled in a lot of different things. And of course, cannabis was one of them. I was bad at selling it. Like I would just be giving it away to my friends, and we'd just be smoking. So I didn't make any money ever when I first initially started. So that just it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I just saw the sort of vision. I was just like, okay, this is.
You know it's a good money maker. You just wasn't making the money.
Yeah,
at
at that time. And I was
yeah.
like, legally, this is, it's a different beast legally. Like, I want something that can't be taken away from us, or from me and my family. My family, which I expressed to the group that we talked to before, I was explaining, like, I've had family members go to prison for a very long time for drugs. And that is just seeing that over and over. It's just like, we need to invest because people are smart. My family is smart. They have the hustle spirit. They know what to do, but investing in things that just ultimately are going to put you in jail or, put you in the grave is not something. Which is sad
for our whole community because, like, I had that conversation with somebody. If you would have gave us the real estate game instead of a brick of dope, what we would have did with it.
Exactly. So that was mainly, my main focus has always been that. Is like, what is going to create generational wealth? What is going to create something more stable for me, my family, and my community? And then, like, a space where I can influence the community and say, hey, let's do this. But obviously you have to do it first and you have to be successful in it for anyone else to really follow you. So that is what inspired me to really get into the industry. And I moved to California to do that.
So so when did you leave New York and come to California?
So around 2016.
Okay, so that's right when the game went
legal. Yep.
So that's when you came up with 420?
Yes. Okay. So around 2018 is when I made it a legal business.
Okay.
But I was like, I want to get in the industry. I was talking to everybody that I knew, my hairdresser. I'm like, I'm trying to get in the cannabis industry. Like, I moved out here. And
so not to cut you off, was 420 already like your brand? Like you already had that light?
No,
or you just
came up with it. Yeah, I just be coming up with stuff. I'm like, whatever is clever.
Hey.
And then it was a bad decision for where we are now in the industry because I was a bit too ambitious sometimes, and I'd be like, oh, they just telling me this because they hating. But really, sometimes you gotta listen to the people that come before you. You should listen because they were telling me anything. You can't open a bank account if you have anything that's associated with cannabis. So me having a business name that says 420 is pretty obvious of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it does limit us being able to get funding, us being able to get loans.
But which is not, it's not fair though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we're slowly but surely moving forward, but still, I don't think it's fair that, I'm running a legal business and I'm paying taxes.
Oh, heavy taxes
it's not
too.
Stupid heavy. When I say the taxes are out of control, like I think they're doing something. They have to be doing something illegal. Like, as far as business-wise. Like, it has to be some type of code somewhere. Like, oh, this is like price gouging or something. Like, you're putting $22 on every AFA sale. Like, bro, how am I supposed to make some money? How are we supposed to make some money? And you're still going up. And they're still trying to go up on taxes.
Every year,
So it's like, and then you tell me, and I can't open up a bank account? Or if I do go to a credit union, y'all going to charge me 40% of my money that I put in here? Like,
the bank accounts, like, just in addition... just to give you perspective, because I'm still a small business in this industry. And to open a bank account, they want me to pay an additional $1,000 to $2,000 a month just to have the account. Every month. So, add that up per year. What is that in addition that's taking from my working capital? And then, not just that, in order for me to just deposit the money in the account, I have to pay like $200 fees just for them to pick up my money and deposit that into the account. And it's like you said, there's really no other way for me to legitimize my cash without having a bank account. So it's like you forcing my hand to make me have a bank account that I pay all these extreme fees on. I'm paying these taxes. We pay monthly taxes. Like, we have to submit locally how much money, like, to the Office of Finance.
So it just feels like y'all legalize it, but y'all still treating us like criminals.
Yeah. Oh, not even just that. They're not treating us like criminals. What they're doing is they're saying, oh, you want to have the opportunity to do this? we're gonna give you the opportunity, but we're gonna charge you.
Make it hard.
Yeah, make it real hard for you to maintain.
Or and if do you feel like they're trying to scare people off? Like,
yeah.
Okay, we could do, because they're not gonna be able to do this forever. You think they'll be able to do this forever, or this heavy taxing forever on this?
I think they're gonna try to bleed all the small businesses out, and or the smaller companies, until the big companies can come in, and then they'll be able to like come in and just buy us all out, and then they take all the pot, and then it's like that's how they weed out. Yeah, that's how they're gonna weed out everyone who's small and can't afford it.
Sad. But it's like, I mean, I don't even see the big companies doing it how the small businesses do it, because the smaller people, the family, the moms and pops, they take a little bit more, passion into what they're growing. And this is not like alcohol. This is not tobacco. This is cannabis. Mm-hmm. You have to take care of this plant. This plant has to be looked after like a child. That's the only way you're gonna grow some fire, if you really take care of it. So you think you're gonna have a massive room and y'all just gonna be growing some good weed? It's not finna happen.
So I think every industry originally started like that. Historically, if you look at like our clothing, the materials for our homes, our cars, everything was handcrafted at one point until it was then commercialized. Yeah. So every industry, and we all probably, we're just at the beginning of it now, and we have the love for it, and we're like, no, you have to take care of this. But at some point, big business comes in, corporations come in, and they take that whole love, care, and organicness out of it. And so that's gonna come, and then I do think that there's ebbs and flows, right? So that comes and then it goes, and then at some point everybody's gonna be like, no, we want the original stuff back again. Like how now everybody's like eating healthy and going back to herbs and all this stuff like that. So
go through the motions.
Yeah, but then they take that away too. Yeah. So it's just like
or they tell you it's bad for you, or no, don't do that. Like I mean, it's just like now, because it's like right now for it's like the cannabis industry, it's flooded. You know what I'm saying? Me, like myself, I'm a consumer, so it's like me, I kind of separate myself from stuff, and I see it being like that in the future. It's like I'm looking for the boutique stuff, the designer buds. I'm looking for the small batches. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. I'm saying, like, I'm not going, if Coca-Cola started a cannabis company, I don't think I'm going to smoke Coca-Cola.
Okay, I hope. But then that just makes it better for us, like, because I'm a boutique and craft grow, right? So that'll help a person like me survive in the future, because if I have a customer base that's like, no, I'm strictly supporting my boutique brands and companies. You got my vote for sure. Okay, you got my vote for please.
Sure. So getting into that, like I said, I was looking on your Instagram, and I see it said about 4 years ago, so about 2020 or something around there, that you was awarded a license for cultivation and distribution. Yes. So how did that come along?
So pretty much I had to apply, and I told you I moved here around 2017. 2018 is when I established the business, the LLC. I created my LLC. And I started working at different places like dispensaries and going out to Riverside to try to learn how to grow, because I knew I wanted to apply for the upcoming license.
So you really grinded from the bottom.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay. So because I had friends who had money, who were doing things, and I was like, just invest. The license application process is coming up. Yeah. It's $12,000 at the time to apply. So, people were like, oh, if it's that easy, everybody would have it. Or they're like, why do I invest in you? What have you done in cannabis? So I'm like, well, here it is. I have to go and do this on my own. So that's basically why I had to take that path. And in 2018 created it. 2009, I think actually 2018, I'm lying. I created it in 2018, and in 2018, the application process opened up for social equity applicants in Los Angeles. Okay. So you had to be a social equity applicant or have a social equity partner to apply for the license. And these licenses are issued so you can operate these businesses. And like you, I thought I wanted to do delivery. I was like, oh, delivery is the easiest. I can come up with that money to do that. But I also knew I wanted to do cultivation because I was like, that's going to control, like I can pretty much make sure I'm in control of the plant, you know, and exactly. And like I want to be able to make sure I don't just have to buy whatever somebody else is giving me at whatever
you think
prices.
that's like the best? I mean, I feel too, but you think that's the best way to go though, to have your own grow and distribution?
I thought so, and I still think that if you can do it at scale, then yes. And especially in like limited markets, like where it's not so competitive, because in California there are thousands of cultivators. So, and then you know we have like our really old school growers who have been in the game for a really long time, who have 20 years more experience than me. Not to say that my team is really good though. So my team,
I've seen some of your work. I've seen it, so
it's fire. I'm not gonna say like we not competing, because we are, but it's just a matter of one, having enough of it. When it does come, being able to sell it at the same prices, because I don't have enough. I need to be able to, like, I have to charge a little bit more for my product, even though it's worth it. It is worth the value. But being a cultivator is just, there's a lot more investment that it takes, a lot more overhead, a lot more expenses. Like our ACs, I've literally paid in repairs like $5,000 to $7,000 in just repairs in the last 2 months for my, you know, electrical and HVAC and stuff like that. One of my rooms collapsed after, like the ceilings collapsed after the earthquake. With plants in there. Thank God. I literally was praying to God. I was like, please.
So when that earthquake happened, because we got that on tape. We got that on tape. So that day that earthquake happened, the roof fell in.
Not the same day.
So the next, like a couple days later.
Couple days later. So that day we were like, oh my God. I was letting someone in my building and I was like, I was so scared. I'm calling everybody. I'm like, do we have earthquake insurance? Like, what is, because this is scary. Like this just, you know, nothing happened that day. Nothing was affected that day. But my builders I built these paneled rooms inside of my warehouse. So those paneled rooms were supposed to be built properly, and I guess they didn't secure them enough to the roof. So basically, they said over time that would have happened anyway, but because of the earthquake, it kind of like shifted it. Yeah. So that ceiling had 4 ACs on top, and it fell like this. Yes. So that cost me $25,000 just to fix that ceiling alone. Wow. So that's just things that like happen, and it's just like it's constantly stuff like that on a cultivation side. That, you know, like for retail, I feel like their costs, you know, maybe a glass window might be broken or something like that, or you might, it's aesthetic stuff that you fix up, but like you don't have major equipment.
The cultivation is more like an engine.
Yes.
And you gotta, this part fix, you gotta fix this bracket, this gonna, because it's, every day it's gonna be lights. You got CO2 tanks.
Yep, exactly.
you gotta feed the plants, and cultivation is a lot. I mean, I used to think I wanted to do that too when I was younger, until I actually got around people that was doing it.
Yeah.
And it was this dude, my friend, it was a dude he knew, and he never left the house.
Never. It's like, a 7-day-a-week
he never left the house. I'm like, I don't think this is something I really, like, to take serious. Like, you want to make that your craft. Like, you'll be in here 7 days a week. You might get a month or 2 off a year.
Yeah.
But other than that, you in here with these plants, like babysitting them. So, like you said, cultivation is not a pretty thing. Yeah. But, I mean, like you said, like, people are passionate about it.
Yeah.
So
and it can be rewarding, you know, if you have a brand and, you know, it's just servicing your brand, and or you're in a great state that you don't have as many competitors, then you're on top. You're on the top of the
So would you think about, are you trying to do that one day, you know, get your cultivation into another state?
Oh, for sure. So that was originally the goal. It was like, open here first, get the experience, get the license, and then go to different states. I applied in like New York. I don't know now necessarily if I need to have my own facility. I may just consult with, I'm already consulting other people in other states who are opening their licenses. I feel like that's more rewarding for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to operate from a day-to-day standpoint. I'd rather be on a team or partner with other companies where it's like, hey, you own a little bit of mine, own a little bit of yours. I bring some equity over there. So everybody eats like that. But I don't want to have to build it
a whole nother brand again. You
by
already
myself.
got a whole brand.
Not by myself.
So that's a question I want to ask too. So like, say you was to do that, would you send your team from out here, out there, to show them how to grow it, like how to cultivate?
Yes. So I have some clients like that now who we pretty much, depending on what they're looking for, if they want like our SOPs, which are standard operating procedures, like how we from A to Z, what nutrients we use, like if they need that kind of level, then we can provide that. So I have a team of.
How much would you charge for that?
It depends. It depends on where you're at, and it depends on, like I said, how much you really need from. Do you need me to develop your whole team? Do you need me to help you do a P&L of your business? Like, it really depends. So it could start as low as like a monthly retainer, or just like a lump sum of like a larger.
So to say like me, if I was to come to you. And they'll be like, all right, I got my brand. I'm looking for a grower. I'm looking for somebody to cultivate me some very, very good cannabis.
Yeah.
Like, how would that process
I would first
go?
start would be like, well, what's your budget? Because I don't want to, I am also fair. And being that you're, we're the same folks. I wouldn't, I wouldn't charge you as much as I would probably charge someone else. Because it could get a little high.
I know.
It could be like hundreds of thousands, or it could be like thousands. Or it could be like, or it could literally just be like, I'll share a resource with you if it's something like that. But because I can get vicious on the business side. I don't wanna...
I know how I go. I go. Okay, so I heard you talking about going to the clubs and doing all that stuff when you was younger. Do you feel like that helped you when you started doing the cannabis because you already had that marketing in play?
For sure. So I look back at all of my different career paths and things that I decided to do, and I was like, oh, me doing a deck for this helped me learn how to create a deck and a presentation for myself, for my business now. Just small things like that. And then just those relationships that I built over that time. Like I can call someone in Maryland right now who we hosted a party for 10 years ago. And he's like, oh, I know this person who can put you in this place. And, you should get in this store. And those collaborations and those relationships that I built over time are so strong that it's definitely helping me now. And then they send people. They're like, I know someone who can, who wants to start a brand or who is looking for weed or whatever. So
so because to ask you that, because this is a question I'm gonna start asking a lot of people because this is just how I feel now. What do you feel is more important, money or connections?
Connections, because the connections will get you the money. And for sure, connections. Because you can have all the money in the world and not know anything.
Exactly. Because me getting into this, like I said, I've been like in it like 2 years now, and I'm just getting into it, moving into it. And I'm looking at the money. I'm like, okay, well, but then it was like, I'm gonna say like within like 6 months after I got with Los, and he started taking me around people, and we started going to all these cannabis events. I wasn't even worried about the money no more. It was so crazy. I wasn't even thinking about making no money no more because it was just like, dang, man, I'm meeting this people, like I'm meeting this person, and there's certain brands I've already seen, like, and looking at now, I'm meeting the owners of it, I'm meeting this person, and now if I need something, I call this person. If I need help with this, I call this person. So it's like, yeah, the money cool, but I'd rather take this what's going on right now. And that's why we trying to like preach to people as far as like anything, working, getting into your career, like, don't worry about the money right now. Just try to get all the connections you could get because you're going to meet that connect one day where you're going to make that $1 million with them.
Exactly. And that's hard for people who are definitely in the midst of trying to pay their rent. I know from experience that
don't
feeling.
Say that because I got to pay it tomorrow.
Exactly. We all do. I'm like, I got to pay
So that's why
payroll.
I say, do you feel like, Because
it's mind over matter,
yeah,
though.
but the passion.
Oh yeah,
Does the
you
passion
have
to be there?
Oh, for sure, because you have to, and belief in yourself.
Yeah.
Because in God,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whoever you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
But belief is very, that faith is important because, yeah, I've been blessed to get out of really bad situations of like eviction notices on my door during the times of me applying and just having straight faith in myself of like, God, if you need me to have, like, if you want me to have this, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna figure out how to pay this rent somehow. And literally every time there would be a way. A way would be figured out, and it may be, but you have to show up. You have to show up. I feel like if you don't show up, then you're not going, like you said, those opportunities for the money to come or whatever. You can't just sit there with your hands tied and be like, hopefully something comes out of this. It's no, you go outside, you meet the people, you bother whoever you know who knows something about what you're trying to do. And yes, I agree with you as far as being able to really focus on your relationships first. Yeah. But I was just saying that it's hard.
It's hard to do that.
It's hard to do it in the moment, but you just got to believe, like just really believe in yourself and be like, and utilize those skills. Like sometimes if you just talk to your building manager, like, like that's the things I've had to
communication
do. Like,
skills.
Communication, like, listen, I don't have it today. And then if
somebody see you working hard, they'll work with you. Exactly. They're like, all right, I'll give you like 2 more weeks. I need my money. I need my money. Yeah, so another question, one more question I want to ask you. So what do you feel it is that, like, say a young person watching right now and they do want to get into this, but you just said all them things, all these fees, all this stuff like that, but there's somebody out there like us watching this and they're very passionate about it. And I don't want them to get scared away because of all the money, basically the money, and not really being able to think like, oh, they could get rich or make a career or feed their family. What would you say to them? Like, what would you be like? What would you say to them to encourage them to continue on this path?
Well, one, you have to know why you're doing anything that you decided to do. So if you're deciding to be in cannabis, originally I thought that it was just a money play, but also there was also something deeper in me that it wasn't just attached to money. So when the money is not coming, it doesn't necessarily affect me or take me off my course because I know, hey, I'm doing this, one, to provide jobs from my family and for other people, which I am doing. I may not be profiting as much or like I would like to, and I don't have millions of dollars, but I'm able to employ my father, my brother, my mother. I'm able to employ other people who I can help them pay their bills. And not just that, I'm creating a space for other people to come behind me who then can be successful in this space as well. So I'm kicking down the doors. I'm learning things that I'm going to be able to take with me wherever and however. So that was something that was more important for me and for my course. So I think that for other people, if whatever industry you decide to be in, I think anybody said, like most successful people say, don't hang up everything on money and being successful. Because there are hard times, and that's not what's going to motivate you in those times. You need something else that motivates you, that you can attach yourself to, and you say, hey, I'm doing this for the love of whatever. And that will motivate you in those times. And I can go right back to having faith and not just looking at what's in front of you right now. So you may hear all these bills and all this stuff. How am I going to do that? I had no idea how I was going to be able. It was basically, people were telling me it was going to cost me $1 million to open a cultivation. And my mentor at the time was like, apply for the cultivation license. And I was like, I cannot afford that. How am I going to do that? I don't know how to do that. And if I wouldn't have applied for that, I would not be in this position that I'm in right now.
Sometimes you got to just take that leap of faith.
Just got to do it. And I was like, I'll spend my last on this application process because I know God will make a way for me throughout for the rest of whatever else. And every single time he has made a way. For the rent, when I was literally signing the lease, I was having meetings with people about investing so I could get my lease. Like I had to have a location before I could apply while I was applying for my application. And it was like 40 something thousand. And I was having meetings flying all over the place. And they like, oh yeah, no one came through. I had to come through. And I had to also tell my landlord at the time, I don't have this right this second, but I got you on a little bit here and a little bit there. And he gave me a shot. Yeah. And because of that, I was able to secure my location. I was able to get my license. So I didn't have the resources at the time, and I figured it out. Like there's always, if you wake up and this is the main thing on your mind and you have a passion for it and you love it and you're like, I'm going to accomplish this no matter what, don't go crash out and do no crazy stuff. Yeah. But because people will crash out.
Yeah, please don't go crash out.
Don't be going like, you know what, I gotta get this.
I gotta get this. I gotta get somebody coming up short.
That's not the way to do it. Yeah. I think working hard, staying the course, tunnel vision, and building those right relationships, people will come, like you'll come through, something will come through. Don't get discouraged. I think that's what I would say.
Okay, so I'm not going to keep you for too much longer. I just want to know, in the next few years, what's your goals in the next few years? Like, what are some goals that you're trying to accomplish?
I have so many.
Okay, just give us the next 2-3 months or something. Like, I know you have probably something like, what are you trying to complete by the end of this year?
So I definitely want to expand my business a little bit more, my current cultivation. So I'm looking to build out a couple more rooms so I can just have more products, and looking for some more strategic partners in my business so I can expand and flourish the way I know that my business can.
So you're looking for like a street team or something like that?
All of it. Like, I think I need marketing. I got you. I need marketing. I need sales. Like, I really need a strong team. I'm like a one-man band at this moment as far as like sales and just doing a lot, coming up with creatives. So I'm doing a lot, and it's taking a lot from me, and I know that I can't continue down this path. So just from my business, I definitely want to build a stronger team, get us to where the business can be in the next year, and then from there, just be able to utilize that to help other people, consult more in other states, and travel all over and help other people do it in other places.
All right. That's what's up. Well, I applaud you.
Thank you.
I give you your flowers.
Thank you.
I'm loving what you're doing. Like I said, I just met you, just came across you, but I definitely want to keep in touch with you because I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I love what you're doing over there. And before I let you go, what's your top 3 strains that you grow?
Ooh, so top 3, we have one called F1. That's like our top. It's F1? Formula One.
Okay.
And that is one of our unique. No one has that strain. Okay. Super gassy. Can't tell you the crosses because I don't want nobody going out there to get it. But it's super gassy. It was testing at like 34 and 36%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a OG, but not really.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll have purple hues to it. It's really pretty sometimes, but it's one of those like everyone is like, oh, I need that F1. Like F1 is that one. I
have to see what that do.
Yeah. And then we have FZ is a new one that I personally like. So it's a cross with F1 and Skittles.
Oh, and the Skittles.
So it has more of a candy Skittles taste to it, and it's prettier. Like the structure is a little bit more pretty. Yeah. So that one is another one. And then, I mean, as far as like what sells the most is our Bolo Rents or our LCG.
Them two solid strands.
And then we got some cool ones that I've really liked that were just unique.
Okay. So maybe, hopefully, if she's allow us, we could get a part 2 of her and go down to her facility and check it out if she'll let us. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, y'all tap in, get on her. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with 420 and tell her to get the Geeks down there so we can check it out.
I would love to.
But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for coming by. Thank you
me.
so much, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Podcast Network. It's MT the Geek, man. I'll get back with y'all.